on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Didn't I tell y'all I got to stop looking at my phone when I'm on the air? I did not tell y'all when I'm on the air, I got to stop looking at my phone. And I looked at my phone right before I logged on, and there is a young baseball player, Little League, who's got some walk-up music. And the music is so good that he drops his bat and he starts kind of trying to twerk, and he's somebody that should never even say twerk, let alone be trying to twerk. So it made me laugh. It's Freestyle Friday, and I mean it. That's what we're going to do today on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on BS3 TV. That's right, BS3 TV. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV and click on live streams or click on any of the shows on there, and you'll be glad you did. Speaking of shows, they got some new ones coming up today. I got a shout out to two shows making their debut at 7:30 tonight. Life Coaching 360 podcast with Erica Sutter and special guest artist Brother Earl Israel. That'll be tonight at 7:30, and then at 10 p.m. tonight, it'll be Wise L. Jeffy and Poppy J show. The Wise L. Jeffy and Poppy J show tonight at 10. So two new shows making their debut tonight on BS3 TV. So I can't wait. All the programming is good. Glad to have two more to the family. So Freestyle Friday. You know me. I like to talk about anything and everything on Freestyle Friday. One of the things I want to talk about, of course, is Brittany Griner. One of the things I really want to talk about today is Brittany Griner. Yesterday, of course, we got the news that was expected. It was expected that she was going to be sentenced to the maximum or right near the maximum. The maximum for this, for possessing illegal drugs with the intent to distribute it, what they charged her and convicted her of, is 10 years. The prosecutor was seeking 9.5, and the judge gave her 9 in a penal colony, where you got to work. This ain't no country club prison like like others in our country with white collar crime end up in. So anyway, it was expected, but still hearing it, man, it took my breath away. Knowing Brittany, knowing her father, you know, like Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, covering her since the 10th grade. It took my breath away. It did. But again, it was expected. And not only was it expected, it was necessary. It was necessary for this process to run its course. I want to share a little bit from an article that I think kind of best surmises it, if you will. It's from an outfit that I don't follow too much because they get out there real bad. They better known as WAPO or the Washington Post. Article by Olivier Knox, and the research was done by Carolyn Anders. Olivier Knox and Carolyn Anders. And everybody's caught, well, the people that are sensible and reasonable are calling this a sham. It is. 9 years for 0.7 grams with the intent to distribute. Can I go back to my other life? Can I go back to my other life? Back in the day when I used to puff pass, 0.7 grams of cannabis oil is, all right, now puff that lightly and pass it back real quick. You don't have a whole lot of puff passing you can do with 0.7 grams of cannabis oil. You just hit it lightly and give it back. That's all you got. That's all you got. So again, we're not going to get into that. And I'm not dealing with the racist, homophobic, quote unquote, I'm a patriot, wearing a flag on your underwear and your bra and your car and your kid's lunch pail. And I'm not even dealing with that nut crew today. Not dealing with that. Freestyle Friday, I don't want to do it. I want to talk to the people that are concerned how this is going to work out. I want to talk to them today. All right. So the Washington Post has done a pretty good deal on this. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's get down to this. Yeah. It says a little further down into the article that it's a new phase of negotiations. Russia was never going to, and I'm reading from the article, Russia was never going to agree to a prisoner swap before Griner was convicted and sentenced, no matter how frequently the U.S. labeled her wrongfully detained, which elevated her case to the special U.S. presidential envoy for hostage affairs. Moscow, which now has more leverage over the United States than it did before yesterday's proceedings, was never going to short-circuit a trial, a public display of their authority over the United States of America. It let them put their thumb in America's eye with the world looking on. That might have come at a potential domestic political cost, too. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov reportedly said earlier, that Moscow is now ready to discuss a possible prisoner swap. So everything that was going on before today was just talk. What are you talking about? Practice? Not the game. Not the game. We're talking about practice. Everything before then was just talk. It was not going to change anything. Russia still felt like she was the biggest drug dealer in the country's history ever. The United States still felt like, are you kidding me? 0.7 grams. Hit it light, pass it back quick. So nothing was going to change. Once she got sentenced, took my breath away and others, to 9 years for possessing 0.7 grams of cannabis oil with the intent to distribute. Now we got to talk, because Russia wants something out of this. They don't want Brittany Griner in jail for 9 years. They don't. That would be the worst thing that can happen for them. The worst thing that can happen to them is America stops talking to them about Brittany Griner. They want what they want. Let's look at what they want. Again, Washington Post article. Watch this. Listen. At the White House a day earlier, National Security Council Coordinator John Kirby wouldn't explicitly agree that the sentencing opened up a more positive phrase in the negotiations, but he pressed Moscow to accept a U.S. offer, the existence of which was revealed Wednesday without any details. We want them to take the offer that's on the table because it's a good one. It's a fair one, and it'll help bring Paul Whelan and Brittany home, Kirby told the reporters. And if this is what it is going to take to get them to say yes, then okay, let's get to yes. Let's get them home, end quote. So they talking now. They're talking for real. We're not just reporting that they're talking. We're not just speculating that they're talking. We're not just looking into a crystal ball and see, I think they talking. My left over it was jumping and my big toe and my pinky toe was straight out. So I feel like in the spirit they talking. We know they're talking now. Russia now has the leverage that they feel like they need to get to where Willie Gibson has posted. Hey, Willie, what's up, bro? Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio, covering the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Guardians, who got spanked last night, by the way. He covers the Ohio State, the Big Ten, and others. What's up, Willie? So let's get to what Willie's saying right there. The offer in the Washington Post article. The spokesman declined. Watch this. We're talking real stuff now. We're not talking what somebody's cousin living next to somebody's aunt, down the street from somebody that they used to date. We're not talking about that. We're talking about some stuff here. The spokesman declined to spell out the American offer, but it would reportedly envisioning swapping Griner and Whelan for Russia's Victor Bout, a notorious international arm dealer nicknamed the Merchant of Death. Dang. The Merchant of Death? Brittany slams dunks. You want somebody that drops bombs? Whelan was a former Marine. You want somebody that's selling ammunition and artillery and weaponry to kill the Marines? I mean, God, dog. Man. I ain't gonna lie and say that ain't a lot, but that's a lot. Doing a lot. Bout was arrested in America in an American sting operation in Thailand back in 2008, is serving a 25-year sentence in a medium security prison in Illinois. Brittany finna go to hard labor in a penal colony. This dude is kind of, I can work hard today or I cannot. Stuff is for real, man. This ain't TV. This ain't TV. There's talk of Moscow also wanting another Russian convicted of murder in Germany and serving a life sentence there. The writer of this article says, my colleague Robin Dixon in Maryland, Ilashuna, captured all the details of Griner's sentencing Thursday for bringing 0.702 grams of cannabis oil to Russia, a quantity the prosecution called a significant amount. See, what y'all don't understand, again, I'm not talking to the yahoos that are just crazy. I'm not talking to them today. I don't feel like it. What you don't understand, Russia has got to make this all sound like the worst thing in the world. They got to make this sound like, man, those drugs, that 0.7 gram of drugs was going to just ruin our whole nation. The whole nation's safety was at stake over Brittany Griner and whatever level of spying Whelan did back in the day when he got arrested. All of that, man, is about to bring the whole country down. So if you want them and we want them out of our country, you got to give us something. And we want the Merchant of Death and a true murderer. You give us that, and we'll go ahead and settle for giving you back what you want. Two people who are bringing down the entire country. I got to take a break. But when I come back, I want to finish talking about this. If you want to get in, hit me up. 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. You can text me at that number, 832-403-5005. You can also email me, aj@jonesmediaandent.com. That's aj@jonesmediaent.com. It's a lunch break, Freestyle Friday.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
I ain't gonna lie, I am jelly. That is a fire reel, man. That's a sizzle reel that is flat out fire. I'm jealous, man. Cole Johnson. This your guy, AJ, your brother like no other. What's up? Jelly, man. Hey, Snowman, break me off, partner. That's fire, man. And don't forget, got two more shows debuting tonight on BS3 TV at 7:30. You've got Life Coaching 360 podcast with the wife of the founder, Erica Sutter, and special guest artist brother Earl Israel will be on tonight at 7:30 in the debut of Life Coaching 360. Check that out tonight on BS3 TV. And then at 10 o'clock, it's going down with Wise L. Jeffy and Poppy J. The Wise E. I done messed up, man. Don't fire me, Ben. Let me do it again. Run it back. The Wise L. Jeffy and Poppy J show tonight at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock tonight. You got two new shows coming on at 7:30 and 10 o'clock on BS3 TV. All right, now let me get back into this. Again, if you want to hit me up, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Or email me, aj@jonesmediaandent.com. aj@jonesmediaandent.com. All right, real quick. NYT says, AJ, Brittany should be home by now. Let me say this. Brittany's been in jail since February. Waylon has been in jail for a minute. And there is also a name that just popped up in something that one of my colleagues sent me today. A teacher that had a little bit more cannabis oil than Brittany, who was teaching at an American-speaking school in Russia, has been detained as well, and he's been there for a minute. So while I want Brittany home, and I want Brittany home, I'm not going to make it sound like, oh, she's been in there so long when you got people in there who've been there longer. You know what I mean? We gotta, seriously, man, on this one, we gotta care about all of them. Again, I get Brittany was the big name. Brittany was the one they were waiting on, if you will. But we got to care about all of them, man. If I'm Waylon's family, I want him home. If I'm the other person's family, I want, him home. So, if there's a way that they can work out a prisoner swap that includes all three of them, great. Perfect scenario. If there's a way they can work out a prisoner swap that includes Brittany and Waylon while they're still working on the other person, great. Let's make that happen. But you know what? I don't think we can try to make Britney's more important than anybody else's. We can't do that. And I'm saying that myself. So we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. All right, let me go back to this article. Okay. Captain Trey Pike has chimed in. He said, "Happy Friday, AJ and the Breakers." His chat is down. Okay. Hey, Captain Pike, be safe out there. I don't know where you are. You might be out in the middle of the ocean, the middle of the Gulf, but wherever you are, be safe, brother. And I mean that sincerely. When's your football season start? Let us know so we can be following you and your team over there in Florida. All right. Let me get back to this article, see what else. They noted in the past that the United States has resisted Russian pressure to exchange bout given the seriousness of his offenses. He was convicted in New York in 2011 and later sentenced to 25 years in prison for conspiracy to sell surface-to-air missiles, AK-47s, and explosives to the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, knowing that they were planning to shoot down U.S. helicopters. None of this is meant to play down Brittany Griner's ordeal, her fears, or the way the Russian legal system has treated her. It's to play up the prospects that it could soon be over. That's what I believe is going to happen. I believe sooner than later they're going to strike a deal, and we should have 2, if not 3, of our detainees in Russia home. Okay? All right. So that's what we got going on there. All right. Want to talk about Deshaun. Want to talk about Commissioner Roger Goodell. But I'm going to take a break first. Be right back right after this. You want to get in. Again, 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005, or you can email me, aj@jonesmediaandent.com, aj@jonesmediaent.com. All right. CJ, what's up with your awesome self? Miss you. I miss you, CJ. Be right back right after this on the lunch break.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
Man, I'm telling you, some provocative shows on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. If you haven't downloaded BS3 TV on your Roku streaming device, what are you waiting for? Get her done. Get her done. Tell you, some great shows. 2 of them making a premiere tonight. Let me take my time, get these names right. At 7:30, it'll be Life Coaching 360, the podcast with Erica Sutterth and special guest artist, Brother Earl Israel, tonight at 7:30 Central. You can check that out. And then at 10 o'clock, it's the Wise L, Jeffy, and Poppy J show at 10 p.m. Central. Both of them will be debuting tonight on BS3 TV. So check them out. You'll be glad you did. You'll be thanking me. You'll be thanking me. All right, CJ, what you talking about? The lunch break is everything. Sports news, world news, look, comedy. I love it. Well, guess what? The lunch break loves you. Without you, CJ, we couldn't do what we do. All right, let's talk about Commissioner Roger Goodell and Deshaun Watson. All right, so we all know now that Deshaun was given 6 games by the NFL selected arbiter, Judge Susan L. Robinson. Judge Susan L. Robinson said in her dissent that there were things that she felt like Deshaun was deceptive about, not telling the truth, that she felt like he didn't express very much remorse, if any. She felt like that one thing that stood out to me, she said that it's hard to imagine there not being any physical force with some of the things that he was accused of doing. And she said all those things. But then she said to the effect that based on the NFL criteria and precedents, the most she could give him was 6 games. And that was a direct shot at the NFL. Your process does not allow, or really doesn't, set a precedence for her to suspend him, given the evidence, not just feelings or emotions or I think, I feel, but given the evidence, it really didn't allow her to go past 6 games. And that's what she gave. And oh, baby, there was an outcry. Let me say it right. There is an outcry that is out of this world. You've got former athletes, former players. You got national broadcast journalists. Obviously, you've got heads of different groups and organizations, and you've got a great number of men and women that are just absolutely outraged to the point where, they feel like the NFL doesn't care. They feel like Deshaun Watson got a slap on the wrist. I will not quote the attorney for the women, and that's personal. It has nothing to do with the women. Has nothing to do. I want every single woman or man who has been sexually assaulted or been the victim of sexual misconduct to get justice, full-fledged justice. That attorney that represented the women, all of them, something different. That's something different. You can cover him on Fox or NBC, CBS, ESPN. You cover him over there, not covering him over here. But there are plenty that felt like it was a slap in the face to the women. Felt like the NFL doesn't care. And even sponsors were saying, hey, listen, y'all either fix this or we're gone. Like gone. Cue Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell, before the deadline, which would have been yesterday morning at 8 a.m. Central, 9 Eastern, announced that they were going to appeal the suspension of Deshaun Watson because 6 games was not enough in their estimation. And what's interesting is Roger Goodell, the way the collective bargaining agreement, which governs, is the, if you will, watch this, it is the constitution for the NFL. That's what governs NFL punishment, pay, behavior, personal conduct. The collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, is the constitution for the NFL. It's negotiated between the NFL's Players Association and the league. So, based on the collective bargaining agreement, the NFL had the right to appeal it, has the right to appeal it, and the appeal could be heard by Roger Goodell himself. Previously, Roger Goodell heard the actual initial argument, testimony, and issued out the original punishment, or if there was none. And then if the players didn't like it or the NFLPA didn't like it, they appealed it. And Roger Goodell had the right to hear the appeal or select somebody else to hear the appeal. But the final decision was all Roger Goodell. He could punish you. He could appeal it. He could repunish you. He could do all that. Roger Goodell was the man. Well, under this new CBA, guess what? That first line of defense was a mutually agreed upon arbiter between the NFL Players Association and the league, and that was Susan L. Robbins. She did her job. She explained why she did her job. She explained how she came to her conclusion. She did her job. The league, for whatever reason, decided they didn't like it, and they decided that they were going to appeal it. Now, mind you, the Players Association said that if the league don't appeal, we won't appeal. We'll just sit out these 6 games. Well, the league didn't like that. We got too much at stake to look like we like this. So Roger Goodell decides that he is going to Willie Gibson's call. Let me get Willie in here. Willie want to correct me, I think. Willie.
I stepped out for a minute, so I just want to listen.
Oh, okay. Well, come on in. Come on in. We're talking about the appeal process and how it has ended up with Roger Goodell. But Roger is kind of trying to be a little smarter than he has in the past. Roger's like, yeah, we fighting this thing, but I don't want to look like I'm the one fighting it. So I'm going to get a former attorney general from New Jersey to step in and actually handle the appeal for the league. So he tapped Peter C. Harvey to come in and make it all make sense. But Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio, covering the Ohio State University, Cleveland, and a whole lot of other stuff. The final decision, the final yes and amen, belongs solely to Roger Goodell. And that's in writing. So I don't mean to tie it all together, but it's almost like Roger Goodell is Putin of the NFL. Yeah, I mean, you got a trial going on, but don't you dare let her out before you check with me.
Not basically, actually.
And Roger Goodell, like, yeah, okay, I appreciate them little 6 games, but don't you dare let that out until you check with me. So the former attorney general from New Jersey is going to hear the appeal. It'll go through the motions. But at the end of the day, if Roger Goodell don't like the number, then the number's going to be whatever Roger Goodell likes. All right, let me hear the couple things. Number one,
word on the street.
Okay.
Is, since I'm calling you based in Houston, word on the street is they don't want Deshaun in Houston on December 4th. So they want 12.
Well, funny you should say that, because published reports say that they had negotiated or tried to negotiate a 12-game suspension that would have allowed Deshaun to get back on the field after that game. And reportedly, Deshaun Watson and team ixnayed that deal. We don't want it.
Well, here's how the negotiation went. Initially, the league wants indefinite suspension with the opportunity, and that's what it's not semantics, because people hear with indefinite, well, you only get a year. No. The difference between a year suspension and an indefinite suspension are several. One, on a year suspension, he can go through camp and leaves the day after the last preseason game. Then he can come back halfway through that suspension. If there's an indefinite suspension handed down today, he has to leave camp today, not to return for a calendar year. So there's differences, and it's not just it's a year. No. If it's indefinite, he has to leave immediately.
Yep. And right now he can practice. We talk about practice, and he can play preseason if they so decide to put him out there.
Yep, and that's a point of contention here, because now with the appeal, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion in most eyes that he's going to get that year. So now the question to Kevin Stefanski is, why give him first team reps now when you know he won't be there? Let's focus on getting Jacoby Brissett ready for Carolina, for the Jets, and so on and so on.
Yeah. All right. So I appreciate you adding that Cleveland perspective in, because that's good stuff right there. Let's go back, though, if you will, to Deshaun and where we probably are going to end up now. Deshaun is going to get at least a year. He's not going to get 12 games, 14 games. He's going to get at least a year. That's what the league has said that they wanted. That's what they wanted before the negotiations, trying to get it under a year. So now that it is in Goodell's court, led by a former attorney general, it's going to be at least a year. Safe to say.
Probably.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons, I'm not really quite safe that yet, but popular opinion is that yes, now that it's been appealed, the league's going to get the year that they wanted the entire time.
Yeah, mark this time 1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34 Central. 12:34 Central. AJ Jones is going on record saying Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended for the entire season. That's where I was before today. That's where I'm officially landing today. Final answer. Don't need to phone a friend. No lifeline. 1 season.
Yep. And they want them. And another caveat to that, another aspect is they want an $8 million fine.
I saw that. I saw that. And I'm glad you brought that up. What's that about? Because he's already settled with all but one of the ladies. He's the team, which has not been investigated, by the way. Latest news to drop has not been investigated. Has settled with 30 of the ladies. Why do you want $8 million from Deshaun?
Because they feel that the Browns, and you and I talked about this earlier this week, they feel the Browns circumvented the system by giving him a low first-year salary of $1.035 million, $1,035,000 in anticipation of this suspension, whereas he will only lose roughly $60,000 per game.
Yeah.
I think the 6-game suspension. I
think
the total was $365.
Just under $400,000. Right.
Right. Whereas next year his base salary is $46 million.
Right.
Where he would lose $16.7 million on a 6-game suspension.
Okay.
The league is under the impression that Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, and the front office at Cleveland Browns circumvented the system, or is attempting to circumvent the system. Therefore, they want the $8 million fine. And looking at the fact that Roger Goodell did not put Deshaun Watson on the exempt list last year, Houston chose not to play him. However, they did pay him.
Right.
So their thought is they want a financial penalty in addition to any suspension that they let.
I'm gonna tell you, we got Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, Columbus, Ohio, joining us on the HBC. I'm sorry, I got the HBCU Stroll phone line. Let me fix this real quick on the JM&E phone line. But real quick, man, that's Petty Marvin right there, bro. That's like, wait, what? Oh, what? That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. It's just like, it's almost like insult to injury. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. But the league, they're protecting their base. They can't. This is not about Deshaun Watson.
I agree. Good point.
About Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Because Roger Goodell took a public whooping.
Yep.
I'll say it like that. For his handling of the Ray Rice situation. Ray Rice was alleged to have physically assaulted his wife.
No, he did.
At the beginning. I'm going.
At the time he sat down with Roger. You're right. Go ahead.
He was accused of allegedly physically assaulting his wife. Roger Goodell met with him and levied a 2-game suspension.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, after that, a video surfaced.
The video
actually did physically assault his wife.
Right.
And Roger Goodell looked, he made it look bad.
Yep.
So ever since then, now for all intents and purposes, Deshaun Watson is taking the hammer for Ray Rice. Because Roger Goodell has to now protect his base, where he doesn't want to be looked upon by women or the league has to be looked upon by women as they don't care.
Yeah.
So now, do they care? That's subjective to your opinion. I'll leave that to self-examination. However, they want to give the appearance as though they do. And this is why they're holding out for the penalty that they're holding out for.
Yeah. I think that's a very good, just recap synopsis. I said when that happened with Ray Rice, and then they had the big press conference where they hired the outside agency to come into the NFL and to handle those kind of things. The NFL, National Football League, they don't handle domestic violence well. They don't handle life issues well. They don't handle that stuff. But watch this, they ain't supposed to. They're the National Football League. So if they cared, they would really turn that stuff over to the professionals. And Roger Goodell is not sitting in a room with Ray Rice and his then fiance. A professional knows how to get Ray Rice in a room, how to get Janae in a room. I've met them, by the way, so that's why I'm calling them by their first names. They know how to get them in rooms separately and get to some true therapy and ministry. And if there's reconciliation after that, so be it. But the first steps are not what Roger Goodell did. He didn't know what he was doing. I still don't think he knows what he's doing. I still think that Roger Goodell is wading into waters that is self-inflicted, man. You shooting yourself not just in the foot, but in the leg, in the ankle, in the toe. You shooting yourself all over the place because, again, you don't know how to handle it.
Well, here's the thing. All is not lost yet on the Deshaun Watson front because, yes, popular opinion, most feel that after this appeal was heard by Peter C. Harvey, the NFL will get the suspension that they want. However, at that point, Deshaun Watson's camp, Rusty Hardin, Jeffrey Kessler for the league, for the PA, and whomever else will then take that to federal court for an injunction vacating the suspension. If that occurs, Deshaun Watson plays week 1. And that's where people in Cleveland are missing it. That's why Deshaun Watson continues to get first-team reps.
Yeah.
Because they're under the impression that once this, however it goes, if it goes in the league's favor and not Deshaun Watson's favor, they're going to go to federal court for an injunction, and more than likely, they're going to get it. That then takes away the 6 weeks that they thought they would be out without Deshaun Watson, and that makes him eligible week 1.
And Willie, again, you're bringing up very good legal conversation because, like you said, and like we said about the Brittany Griner thing, certain things had to happen before you can go to the next step. This has to be appealed by the league and then go through its process and then a decision to be rendered. And then the player and his camp legal team can take that outside of the league to federal court. And what they're seeking is an injunction, not a judgment, an injunction, which allows him to play until a decision is made. But here's where I want to get to. Because, like I said, the collective bargaining agreement is like the Constitution for the NFL. We've seen very few cases where an outside court made a decision to affect what's in the CBA or the Constitution of the NFL. They might be able to buy time, but it's highly unlikely that they're going to get a favorable judgment outside of the NFL.
And that's the thing. For everybody that's saying the league lost when Judge Sue L. Robinson made her decision, if you read her decision, it's a 16-page report. She actually agreed with everything the league said.
Right.
The issue is, and what the league also is trying to do, is they're trying to establish a new precedent, because it's like, okay, you tell your child, okay, if you get 100% on your spelling test this weekend, I'll take you to the pizza party. And then they get it, and then you realize, like, man, he really got it. So now next time you say, well, if you get 200% in the next 2 weeks, you'll get it. That's really what the NFL is doing.
Right.
She used their precedent against them.
Right.
And then they realized, that's our precedent.
Yeah.
We really couldn't get what we wanted because they wanted a year, they wanted indefinite, but her decision clearly states the maximum penalty for a non-violent sexual assault case, which what Deshaun Watson was the hearing was about, was 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So she took that, and this is why the league won, because she took that and doubled it. Game 6. And the league, for their thought, that wasn't enough because they still want indefinite.
Mm-hmm.
So they're attempting to rewrite their own precedent with this case. So, and go ahead.
ahead. No. Go ahead, Doc. You rocking.
Well, no, I would just say this to those that say, well, why did we just go through this with Judge Sue L. Robinson? If now Goodell gets to appeal it and they can do anything anyway, how could the PA agree to this? I'll simply say this, strictly non-biased opinion. The NFLPA negotiates for over 2,100 players.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to have less than 5 disciplinary hearings
Mm-hmm.
this year. So are you really going to fight tooth and nail to have disciplinary hearings taken totally away from the league? Or are you going to battle for your group for shorter practices?
Gotcha.
I mean, simply put, it's going to be, you have Deshaun Watson, you'll probably have Alvin Kamara here coming up shortly, less than 5. But 2,100 players are practicing today
Mm-hmm.
in 90 degrees, 75% humidity weather. Do you want them out there for 2 hours or 75 minutes?
Yeah. Willie Gibson, you dropping it, bro. You dropping it good. I like it. Where do you see it all playing out? I think we've kind of surmised that, but let's bring it back together. Where do you see it all playing out?
I think he plays week 1. I think the league probably does attempt to well, let me say this. Maybe there's another negotiation on the table because they've been negotiating this entire time, even while Judge Sue Robinson was contemplating and formulating her decision. The PA and the league were still negotiating. That's where the league came down from indefinite to 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
And Deshaun's team did not want to go for that because, can I get into why?
Yeah.
All right. So the league had 13 cases, had 13 women that they presented as evidence of what Deshaun Watson was accused of, nonviolent sexual assault. Judge Sue L. Robinson threw 9 of the cases out as inadequate, insufficient evidence. So they only presented 4 cases that she allowed. So Deshaun's camp is under the mindset, well, if they only have 4 cases out of 13, why would I negotiate with them? I'm going to ride it out and take our chances with what the arbitrator says. And it worked.
Right.
Because the arbitrator, again, the league won. She agreed with the league, but they got 6 games instead of the 12 the league was offering.
Right.
So with this, he's going to play. He's definitely going to play. People say, oh, it's over. It's over. He's done for the year. No, he's not, because even if Peter C. Harvey does fine in the league's favor, they go into federal court.
Yeah.
They get an injunction.
Yeah.
And therein lies, get your popcorn ready.
Yeah.
As Tito says, because it's on and popping at that point.
So I'm gonna amend my 12:34 Central Standard Time, Friday, August the 5th. I'm gonna say at some point Deshaun Watson's gonna be suspended for an entire season. At some point, I don't know when, but at some point he's gonna be suspended for an entire season. That's what I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
All right. Will, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, brother.
Mr. Keith. Salute to Mr. Keith. I appreciate that.
That's a good brother, man.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Will Gibson 7, Facebook. Will knows. Folks Talking Sports this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. OGKG, Chris Gardner, and Yanez, and Cast of Thousands. I think James will be with us as well. Just getting it.
I'm boycotting y'all show. Because y'all can't seem to get no sisters on there, man. So I'm boycotting y'all.
Listen, I am a participant.
I ain't said nothing to you that I don't say to Chris Gardner, man. I'll be messing with all of y'all, bro. Y'all folks talk sports on the show, man. I can't wait to see it. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Love you much, man.
No doubt. Love you too.
All right. Willie Gibson broke it down for us, y'all. That's good stuff. I want to thank him, broadcast journalist from Columbus, Ohio, from coming on. And I mean, that's good stuff. You ain't getting all that anywhere else. I'm telling you, you're not getting all of that anywhere else. So good stuff. Keith Hennig, I'm with you. Will knows. That Will know. Hey, Will, you know what? You need to grab one of these days that I'm trying to get rid of over here and do the Will Knows podcast. Willie, pick a day. We got Coach on Monday. We can have you on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. I'll give up whatever day you want, Willie. I'm negotiating through the media right now. Willie, BS3 would love to have you on Roku. Bro, come on, Willie. Call me back. Hey, Willie. All right, let me take my final break. I got to get ready to roll. Let me take my final break. We'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Colt Johnson, and welcome to
Go Sports with the Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
Ben Sutter III, Ben Sutter III, the founder of BS3 TV. I want you to hear me loud and clear through your stereo speakers or your smartphone or your tablet or whatever you listening to me on. If I don't get a sizzle reel like that, I'm tearing everything up. I promise you. I mean it. I'll come in here wearing a Washington Commanders Dan Snyder, I love Dan t-shirt, and I'll put BS3 right by it. So, bruh, I need a sizzle reel like that. That thing is fire, man. I love that. Cole Sports, to me, is the hottest sports show ever because of that sizzle reel. So, hey, Ben, get at me, man. Don't make me wear that shirt. I promise you. Washington Commanders loves BS3 and a big picture of Dan Snyder kissing the logo. I'll mess it up, bro. I'll mess it up. I promise you. They'll call you into Congress. All right. Erica Kenyatta, what's up? What's up, my friend? I want you to get a day on the show, too. I'm negotiating publicly with you, too. All right, y'all, I got to get ready to roll, man. I got to meet the Habitat for Humanity. They're volunteering some time at our church to help get our community daycare up and running. So I got to go meet with them, walk them through, see what we got to do. So I got to get off a little bit early. But it's been a great show, man. I want to thank Willie Gibson for jumping on. I want to thank CJ for being amazing. King Dog, Queen 3, and King. That podcast is fire. You got to check it out. Go check it out on BS3 TV, BS3 TV on your Roku streaming device. Download it. Look for Queen 3 and King. Also, check out the forecast. In fact, I'm gonna run the reel and let y'all see what's all happening on BS3 TV. Plus, there are two shows that are debuting tonight. At 7:30. the Life Coaching 360 podcast with Erica Sudduth and special guest artist brother Earl Israel. That'll be tonight at 7:30 Central. And then at 10 o'clock, I got to see what this one's about. It's the Wise L, Jeffy, and Poppy J show at 10 p.m. Both of them making their debut tonight on BS3 TV. Don't miss it. All right. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except meet me here Monday for the HBCU stroll with the coach, Johnny Cole. If you missed last Monday, it was only on BS3 TV, and he had on none other than Stedman Graham. Yeah, that's right, the Stedman Graham. Stedman is mentoring several HBCU schools, and Coach Johnny Cole had him on live exclusively on the lunch break and the HBCU stroll and BS3 TV. So, as always, let's not do this. Let's find a way to do this. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and safe weekend. We will talk to you all later. All right. Hey, take us out, BS3.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.